All right, so I was born in Dale City, Virginia. That's just where I was born when we left there. But yeah, so originally, technically, I'm from Virginia. I didn't live there, through years to really say I'm from Virginia, but that's where I popped out the coochie.
And where do you currently reside these days?
Currently, I reside on the other side of Maryland, all the way on the other side. No specifics, but just in the corners.
Now, how old were you when you moved from Virginia to this area you currently reside in Maryland?
How old was I when I moved from Virginia, pretty much from Virginia, I moved directly to Oxon Hill, Maryland. And then from Oxon Hill, Maryland, I moved to Waldorf. And I've been there all the way till last year type thing. So I just left.
Now, judging by that time frame you just kind of mentioned, what were the different reasons for the different moves? Why'd you go from one place to another, then another, then another?
It kind of just happened like that with my folks and whatnot, just kind of like trying to get me around, put me in whatever. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just a parent thing. I ain't had no choice. I moved where my parents was. I ain't had no money. So.
I see. Now, do you even go back to Virginia to visit? Or?
Not too often. Not too often. Probably as I should, just because I don't really have, I don't have any friends there from childhood or anything like that. I really only popped out the cooch there. So.
Now, growing up in these different places you named, what was that like for you? Can you paint that picture for us?
I remember Virginia being real cool. I was really young, so everything was real. Anywhere you live, when you get a certain age, kind of like everything was kind of fun. I moved to Oxon Hill Village, part of Maryland, and that's where I first kind of seen the other parts and seeing how things change, and it started growing up. I was around about 7 years old, and coming from Virginia initially, everything was real cool, lolly dolly, nice, whatever, all that good shit. And then came to Oxon Hill, Maryland, about when I was like 5. By the time I got to 7, that's the first time I seen a body, and that kind of something kind of stick with you forever. Like the first time you see it, and it was the newspaper man. My pops used to send me outside to pay for 50 cents for the newspaper for the dude. And long story short, walked out that day, got my little newspaper from him, walked out. By the time I got to the door of my apartments and whatnot, everything went off and whatnot. My pops like, yeah, it's firecrackers, just get in the house, da-da-da-da. And we go back outside and cuz is laying on the ground. So that was that type thing. And that's some Maryland shit. So.
And then the other places?
Then I moved to Fort Washington, part of Maryland, which ain't too far from Oxon Hill, and then spent my chunk of, my growing up in Waldorf. So, and same shit kind of everywhere I went. And Fort Washington was the same thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just possible, people think, I guess, maybe Baltimore is the only, part of Maryland that's kind of you know what I'm saying, rugged or rough. Maryland is Maryland, just like DC is DC and Virginia is Virginia. It get hectic anywhere, everywhere you go, so there's, nothing special, nothing.
Economically, your family was poor?
Nah, my family wasn't poor. My family was
lower middle class, middle class?
Bingo, lower middle class. We just got in there. We in there. Period.
Was there a bottom point growing up? I mean, was it seeing a dead body? Was that the bottom point?
Nah.
Something worse?
Nah. Not really a bottom point. I would try to make everything be progressive, so every day you wake up is kind of a blessing. So I don't really I don't really got no crazy bottom points. I'm not in prison. I'm sitting right here doing the Smallz ass interview, so obviously life is doing pretty, pretty well. But just regular shit, just nothing, nothing crazy. I don't want to say no dead body was a bottom point though, but just regular life, not having, about seeing the body, that's some kid shit that scare you as a kid or some shit like that, but just not having at big points in times and seeing how, the blessing for me having 2 parents is seeing how 2 parents can finesse and whatnot. And that's the biggest thing I learned, how to be a hustler from my parents and whatnot. Like I said, we just got in the lower, you know what I'm saying? So we got in there and I seen that, just my father's drive, having sons and et cetera, and seeing how he made. My father was a barber, so I seen how barber kind of was the biggest trapper. He wasn't selling dope. He was selling shit ultimately legal, and my man's was. He was getting it. He provided for his kids, so that's the biggest thing I got from my parents was the hustler thing, and I think that's some DMV shit. So.
I see. Going back to the body, though, did you get up close to it, or is it just something you kind of seen from afar?
Nah. That was my first time actually getting close to it. Like actually close, like seeing the body, and my curious ass, got close enough to smell, see everything, cause still breathing, cause it just happened from when I just, bought the newspapers from him and whatnot. And pretty much like not too long after that, that's when we got up out of there. But yeah, it was the craziest thing I ever smelt, seen, anything like that. Like, when it's a dead body. And as a kid, I knew what it was. And when I kind of putting two and two together, like, smelling it, I'm like, that's not a human at this point. He not normal. So I'm 7. I don't know what's going on, but I can smell what's going on.
Can you describe the smell?
Shit.
Somebody watching this that may have never been around a dead body before.
Smell like damn near shit, because a lot of people lose their bowels. You know what I'm saying? When they, especially if you get hit, like, do you lose your bowels? And for me, my personal experience, I'm pretty sure Shorty lost his bowels. So, amongst other things, it was terrible.
You said he was still breathing?
Yeah, he was still breathing. From what I seen, he was still breathing, but I maybe in the panic. You know how you move, bruh, niggas shit on themselves being nervous. So, getting hit, and I don't know, but it was terrible. Maybe he didn't shit on himself, but he was still breathing when I seen him, but I was there for a second. And yeah.
Where'd he get shot?
I was 7 years old, so I kind of just seen everything and kind of got close enough to see whatever, and like by that time, get in the house, get away from me and whatnot.
Was it a lot of blood?
Yes, but.
Did you ever figure out what had happened to him? Was
yeah,
it like
he got robbed, that's it. He just got robbed. He sold newspapers, so it's like, he could have did whatever else on the side, but I'm saying he's selling newspapers, so that's something that kind of stuck with me young too, like, just with guns and just how people are, like, my man's just selling newspapers, like, to my knowledge, he wasn't out here, like, doing nothing crazy, so, and still lost his life or something like that, so it just kind of struck me young, how people get with guns and how they feel like they have this certain power over people and people just not knowing what to do and all that.
Now, somebody watching this may have never seen a dead body in real life, but easy to see a dead body on television.
Yeah.
In the movies, in video games. Hear about dead bodies and descriptions of murder and killings and things of that nature in music. For somebody that's never seen that in real life, how realistic is it to what people have seen on television and movies and video games, that sort of thing?
Oh, I say, it's 2018, so it get pretty realistic in the TV, you know what I'm saying, but you're not physically there. Once you're there, it's a different, because there's an action just happened, something just happened, so everything is still, you know what I'm saying, the dust is still flying, the blood is still damn near in the air. It's an eerie feeling. Just like you can watch a movie and feel scared, but it's just kind of different when you're in person. So, yeah.
Just curious. So looking back, glancing over your upbringing, was it a rough upbringing at all?
For me, nah. Rough for me was more so like younger growing up and et cetera, but I feel like making ends meet, like I'm content with not too much. I ain't never had too much, so I never needed but so much. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a needing for things I never had. So I feel like for me, I had a sense of family, and that kind of is real, real important with people. Like, because you can have shit but have a family and have that feeling, and you don't feel like nothing. You don't feel like you're going through nothing. And that's kind of how I feel. I had family. I ain't have the clothes, I ain't have the bread, I had the reduced lunch. Like, I had but I had family, and I had friends who ain't even had that, so I was blessed.
What about either in Virginia or Maryland, I don't know, but how big is gang activity out there around those times you grew up?
Gang activity was always crazy in Virginia, and in the DMV, in the parts of Maryland I was in, like, we didn't really have gangs, like where it's like, but it's a set of niggas from whatever area they from and whatnot. So it wasn't like organized as much, like Bloods and Crips and GDs and stuff like that. But it was just groups like, oh, we from over here, you from over there, you know what I'm saying? And niggas really be right up the street from each other. So just a lot of that, and that was always prominent. That's always been a DMV thing. It's gonna always be that way for real.
Being that it was prominent, did you ever get immersed up in it?
Nah, for me, I kind of, I had a personality, so being cool, you know what I'm saying? I never felt like I had nothing to prove to nobody. I ain't never been the smallest person, so I never felt like I had to join the gang to be tough and whatnot. And even at that point in time, we was still fighting, you know what I'm saying? So niggas can throw their hands and like, man, and do whatever, but we was still fighting back then. So nah, I didn't feel like I was in the corner and I need some big brothers. For some people, who's, you know what I'm saying, that's what they are, for some people, but nah, I ain't never had to get too immersed in it, but I was always cool with everybody and whatnot, and I rapped and played sports and whatnot, so that kind of, you know, kept me cool.
Were you ever asked to join one? Did they try to recruit you?
Nah, they ain't really trying to recruit me. Like, you run with your homies, and your homies might be with whatever group and whatnot, and that's what they are, and you just cool with them, and I be with them sometimes, but ain't nobody ever say like, yeah, I'm gonna need you to, we got da-da-da-da-da. Nah, it's nothing like that. Them just the homies. That's what y'all do. Cool.
You did say it is prominent. Can one make it in Maryland?
Yeah.
Growing up without having to join one?
Hell yeah, just because we don't have so many organized like gangs and whatnot. Like at the end of the day, niggas is doing their shit by themselves. Like niggas is wilding out off the dolo and whatnot. So yeah, you can definitely make it up without no gang. Maryland.
You did mention earlier that you watched your dad hustle.
Yeah.
With his barbershop service, and hustle is a big deal.
Big deal.
However, did the hustle ever lead to street activity for you?
For me, yeah. For my father, no. For me, I didn't cut hair. But what I did, being the type of person I am and whatnot, I had a decent amount of friends, and I wasn't the type of nigga who hung with one group of people. So at the end of the day, when we all started selling our little weed at a certain age, we about 15, 16 selling weed, I had a lot of white friends, and I had Spanish friends, Asian friends, and everybody else was popping pills and shit. So I'm making a little $30 off of Tray 5 trying to sell some weed and making $70 off some pills because those type kids just feel comfortable talking to me because I don't scare them away because I'm not no gangster, whatever. So I realized you can be a gangster, you could be a shooter, or you could be a hustler and get some money. Like, which one you want to scare away the people, or you want people to come, you know, who can get paid first? You can take it, or they can make people give it to you. So, yeah, I felt like that. That always been that, the hustler thing.
Before it even got to selling marijuana,
Yeah.
were you the type that was like selling candy in school and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I sold the candy in school. Even young, me knowing how adults look at young kids, I would take rocks on the ground and just paint them and sell them for $5 a piece. Not because I thought I can paint, not because I thought they were special, but because I literally knew I'm young, I'm a kid, and people gonna look at me and I'ma smile, and they gonna say, oh, baby, and give me $20 for 2 rocks. So I was selling rocks, and just like everybody else, but niggas get shot for them, and I'm having fun, you know, as a kid. So it's always, you know, negative and positive connotation, everything, two sides of everything, duality and all that, and yeah.
Is selling rocks, is selling candy a gateway to sell drugs?
So yeah, it could be, but it also could be a gateway to starting your own little business for the first time, and it could be a gateway to, you know what I'm saying, all these other things. Now, okay, cool, I sold rocks, I sold candy, and now I'm 18 now. Now I want to start a T-shirt line or now I want to actually start making my own clothes and selling them, or whatever tangible product I can have, I can sell it, and then you get better, get a little older, and you realize, oh man, I could sell non-tangible products. I could sell a video, I could sell an interview, I could sell anything. So, yeah.
Why get into selling marijuana though and pills?
For me, more so, I was smoking, you know, weed at first, so I had it, and then it's kind of like it was just there. You know what I'm saying? I'm a smoker. I smoke it more than I sell it, and to the point where it was like I needed to sell it, but I sell the pills because I'm not a crazy ass pill popper. So that's just that.
Why not go get a job and go that route?
That's how I had the money to buy everything else, because I got a little job. Because, like I said, that's just how I felt. Like, when I had one job, you can have 2 jobs and whatnot. So I felt like I had 2 jobs.
I see. The thing about the job of selling marijuana and pills and that sort of thing is it can have consequences that you may or may not deal with having a regular job.
Correct.
Some of those things can include stress, the looking over your shoulder feeling, violence, jail, prison time, worst case, death.
Yeah.
Why take on that extra job with these things in mind? And did you know about these things before you got into it?
Yeah, I could never play ignorant. Like, oh, I didn't know. Nah, you know, you choose everything you do. So I chose to do what I did. And I always feel like with me, just being a smart person, a very meticulous person, I don't get caught doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you do anything you do the greatest way you can. So even when I'm doing whatever I was doing, like I was trying to do it the best way, the most cleanest way, the most possible way for everything to be, you know, A-okay. But yeah, that was clearly a big risk factor and whatnot.
You could have made another decision. You weren't forced to go that route.
Nah. Nobody put no gun in my head. It was like, you gotta sell this weed and whatnot. But it's just I had stuff that I wanted and things that I needed and things that so it's like, well, I need some extra money and whatnot. And McDonald's wasn't doing but so much. So.
A lot of kids go the McDonald's route, though.
Yeah, I did. I was one of the kids. I just went to McDonald's.
Well, I mean, they go the McDonald's route and they stay in the McDonald's route. They don't venture off to selling marijuana and the pills route.
Yeah, then I was more so like, I'm already doing this. Now I'm already doing this anyway. Now I got a job. I'm gonna keep doing this. Oh yeah, pull up, drive through, that type thing and whatnot.
You did mix the two together?
I definitely sold weed out of McDonald's drive-through in Waldorf, Maryland. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I definitely did that. Did a decent amount of it too.
Were there others too doing the same thing?
Yes, and that's what made me feel comfortable doing it. When I found out I wasn't the only person doing that shit a long ass time ago, I'm like, oh, all right, cool. And now this is like 6 years ago, so it's like, well, they can't do nothing now and whatnot. Y'all better tighten up. But yeah, it wasn't even like a light bulb idea. It was like, oh, this is normal. Oh yeah, this the move. Cool.
You were just doing this and you found out others were doing it?
Yeah.
Or you saw others doing it and you're just like, okay, I'll do it now.
Yeah. I saw my man doing it and whatnot. He had sold his little weed too and whatnot. And I seen him like make a couple swears out of drive-through. Like, he was like all nervous and scary about it. And he was a little bit older than me, so he a little bit longer out of high school. I'm still fresher with the high school, so everybody do know me. So everybody kind of like knew to, you know what I'm saying, just not be hot about it. So I kind of was able to do it better. I'll put it that way.
Did anyone at McDonald's ever get caught for doing these sort of things?
Somebody at the McDonald's got caught like after I left, I believe, but way after I left. But while I was there, nah, everybody was being smooth. So.
Now, having this part of your past, were there any regrets?
Nah, not crazy regrets, cause I ain't never
the street activity stuff.
Yeah, I ain't never go die or nothing too crazy cause right when I got to that age and to that point and to that time, I found something better to do, which is music, cause I'm selling audio dope. So I'm doing the exact same thing I've been doing. I'm selling audio dope. I can sell you some weed in my hand right here and some coke in your hand right here, or I can sell you some shit that you can't even touch, and that just feel like magic. So it's a cool feeling to me.
Was it worth it back then? Was the risk worth the reward or what you got out of it?
Was it a reward? For me, yeah, because I ain't never, like I said, I wasn't going too crazy. Like, it was weed. Like, I feel like I could have, yeah. And I just was never too hot. Even when it comes to stuff like getting robbed and stuff like that, like, my clientele, like, cool people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew what to do with certain people, knew what to do with what. I knew what people to let them know I'm a serve, and I knew what people to act like I ain't got shit around. So.
Did your parents ever find out?
I mean, nah. They just thought I smoked. They just figured I smoked and whatnot, and knew I got money. However I got money, I just sell shoes, clean shoes, sold clothes. Like, you know what I'm saying? You young, you can do every little thing you can do. So, I mean, they damn sure know now. What's up, Mom?
You hid this from them, though.
It's like, it's not hiding. It's like, shit, if I'm reading a book in my room and you walk past the room and you don't know I'm reading it, I ain't gonna tell you I was reading, you just didn't see it. So, that's just what I was doing. Yeah.
Now, you were in school at the time.
Yeah.
While you were doing this stuff.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Down there.
Let's say somebody's watching this.
Yeah.
Maybe they're in a similar situation. 1 foot in school, 1 foot in street activity.
Yeah.
I mean, circumstances could be different for everybody, of course.
Correct.
But is there any general advice you have to a kid right now? Maybe even a similar age. You were a teenager.
Yeah.
Similar age, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. What do you tell a kid like that right now?
I mean, I tell a kid always weigh your options. You gotta definitely know what's worth it and what's not worth it. And think about, you know what I'm saying, the future, not just the present at that exact moment. But you're gonna always have to do what you have to do. But you just gotta remember there's always options and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody really gonna put no gun to your head and say you sell the drugs. Like you can always get a job, period. You can always get a job. You can always take the time and find out your own hustle. Figure out something you're good at. Like take some time, be by yourself. Like don't hang out with a bunch of niggas. Figure out what your actual thing is that you do and find a way to make that, flourish for yourself and whatnot. You never know, like that'll be the best decision you can make over selling a little weed, little cocaine, little whatever, little Percocet, whatever your little shit you wanna do. Like, cause you're gonna be bagged. Like if you get bagged, then what? Like, and I'm speaking more so if you're young, you know what I'm saying? You older, like I can't tell you to do shit. You gonna do what you gonna do. But if you young, I'm big on like the youth. Like, nah, man, get you a job, man. Like, hustle, man. You young, your brain work. Nigga, use your brain. Like, be creative. Like, when you get old, that shit starts slowing down. So, yeah.
You graduated high school?
I graduated high school, for sure.
Now, there's some people that are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that will eventually stop and take that foot in school and put 2 feet into street activity. They'll quit. Yeah. They may be too busy with the street activity stuff, it consumes their time, or they feel like they're making a certain type of income, certain type of money. What's the point in going to school and finishing it? That sort of thing. How did you see things?
I always figure like, you gonna do what you do for the now and do what you do for the future. I always knew like any type of street activity, anything, like whatever you doing, like whether it's fighting with niggas, shooting at niggas, smoking weed, gambling, whatever that's always for the now. That's always, you gambling, that's always for the right now. What you gonna do for your future? What you gonna do for 5 years from now? Fuck 5 years from now. What you gonna do for 2 years from now? What the fuck you about to get into next year? Do you know what you gonna do this summer? Like, that type thing. And that's how I looked at it. Like I realized, nah, I got better shit to be, you know what I'm saying? But take that same hustle, take everything about that and do it with what I can. So now somebody else can't control my money and whatnot because they say something illegal. Like, until you tell me making this music is illegal and doing shows is illegal and da-da-da-da, then yeah. So.
Was there ever a thought on quitting school?
High school, I went to school because like, girls and shit, like it was cool. It was like a social place for me, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was, like a social place and whatnot, and damn near a social experiment, because you get to learn people, you see how people act and da-da-da-da, and then I stand there, start rapping. By the time I graduated and realized, oh shit, this rap shit is high school all over again. It is nothing but the cool kids and the non-cool kids and the different kids and the whatever, and then the niggas who click up and then all the niggas who share clothes and all the goofy ass shit, like.
Popular kids.
All that, so same thing all over again.
You also have athletes that rap.
Yeah, these.
They got that too.
Yeah, more now than ever, so shout out to them though.